So let's start with, this is for entertainment purposes only, and it is all allegedly, just to cover all of our bases. And just a real quick announcement that if by chance the TikTok ban does go through, there's kind of an 11th hour play to have Biden do some work on it. The Under the Desk News lady is working on that, as well as some others with Biden. So, but if by chance the TikTok ban does go through, I am on YouTube. You can go find me there. Yes, I am playing a little bit with Red Note, but I do not believe that is going to be a place that I can speak as freely as I would like to be able to speak. So it is YouTube. Now, at this point, all of you hopefully have seen the text video. It was a black background with white text that I put out on TikTok on Wednesday evening, and YouTube. It's middle of the day. It went out on YouTube, so you should all have that. And everything that I'm going to be speaking about in this video is a rollout from that and pertains to that. So if you have not seen it yet, you might want to go check my wall on either the TikTok or YouTube applications. That said, I would like to keep a spiritual theme in front of us for the next 10 days, 10 or 12 days. This came through a session today. I channeled it through a session for a client. I thought it was perfect and wonderful. She gave me permission to share it here with all of you. This is how it goes. The channel from Spirit Team, it said, keep walking. Keep putting one foot in front of the other so that we can meet you with the miracles along the way. And what a profound idea to give to us. Keep taking our steps so that we can be met with those miracles. And that is what Spirit Team, I believe, would like for us to stay focused on, especially over the next 10 or 12 days. And there's a reason behind this. So let me lay out the energetic picture that we've got going on here. Over the next 10 or 12 days, we actually have a dual thread. We've got a 2-layer dual thread going on, and you need to be very aware, paying attention of where you're at with this. One of the amazing threads, well, let's say it's this one, it's going to be the underlying one. This underlying thread, this underlying energy, this is the bubbling, sacred, feminine energy, okay? I talked a lot about this in that last Easter egg video. If you haven't seen that, go clue into that. It's got that energy of that voluptuous, sacred, feminine, white lighted, gold light, that voluptuous, sacred, feminine energy coming up from the earth. That's the underlying energy. That's our timeline jumping, our 5D, our moving into that new timeline. It literally is like that new timeline energy. That's what we want to stay cued in with, okay? This is the energy, I believe, that when I wake up in the morning, even though everything is just kind of clouded and weird and oh my God, it's that energy that is the excitement going through my body of like, it's happening, it's gonna happen. That's that sacred feminine energy going on. This is what we want to keep tabs on and stay connected to. Now, the other energy, this energy, is what it is and will continue to exfoliate off the planet, okay? Now, my hunch is that this exfoliation of this energy, which is toxic patriarchy, heavy, controlling, low vibrational, 3D, like you get the picture. This energy that is exfoliating off of the planet, I believe I have reason to believe it's going to throw a fit. And it's really going to throw a fit from about January the 18th all the way through probably up until the 26th. I think the 26th of January is where we get our reprieve. And so over this next period of time, you need to be very aware of staying here in that sacred, feminine, bubbly energy, lighted space, lighted protection, connected into the earth, being very situationally aware, tuning in with your spirit team, being very discerning, listening to what is right for you at the right time. That's where you want to be, because we're going to get distracted by all this chaotic energy that is going to be exfoliating out. And I have been and will continue to use terms like walking the shamanic shadow and that shadow revealing itself and leaving the planet. You could also say it's an exorcism. We're going to be walking through the bubbly nature of staying rooted, anchored in that sacred feminine as there's an exorcism leaving the planet. I talked at length in another video. It came through, I believe it was from Spirit Team when I was wearing that khaki green. One of those videos I was talking about the box, and everybody's like, Dana, it's the Ark of the Covenant, Ark of the Covenant. My menopausal brain was like, the thing and the thing and the thing. And they're like, it's the Ark of the Covenant. So Ark of the Covenant, the box gets opened. And all the banshees fly out. All the banshees fly out. And it's really important during this time. It's very important during this time. Yes, be aware, but being aware at more of a distance. Being aware in more of that unattached space. Being aware of like, yes, I know it's going on, but I don't need to be attached or participate in it. I can keep it at a distance. I'm staying in my anchored, rooted space, right? What they talked about in the film, Harrison Ford and Mary, is like, keep your eyes closed, don't look. So there's a sense of like, don't attach to what you see coming through. So that's our overall MO to walk through this. Now, I can hear from Spirit Team, they do want me to talk a little bit about a timeline. I felt very strongly coming in on the evening of the 15th. It was like Spirit Team came in and was like, it's time to start really bubbling up, anchoring in those light lines, securing in that lighted space to protect against psychic attacks, because there is and will be an elevated nature of that. And so last night I did all the light lines, laid down the salt lines, like I did all this stuff that I needed to do, bubbled it up. And then the next thing Spirit Team said, they basically said to me, they're like, Dana, at certain periods during the day, it is going to be a good idea to turn off your Wi-Fi. So I did last night. And you know what I learned? What I learned is that we have no idea how much energy is coming in on our Wi-Fi network, how much programming is coming in on our Wi-Fi network, how much leaches through into our energy space, whether we mean for it to or not. And one of the greatest ways to shut that down is unplug the Wi-Fi. Now, is this for everybody? No, this is where I'm going to begin to tell you that as a working psychic, I am delivering to you the messages and information to the best of my ability, okay? It is your job to listen to it and go, yeah, Dana, that one's not quite right for me. I don't think that one's quite right for me. Great. You don't need it then. There may be other information that comes through and you're like, oh, that's resonating spot on. I need to pay attention. Great. Go with it. Your job is to listen to everything that I'm talking about and discern what is right for you, what is resonating. I don't even want to pretend to be a be-all or end-all here. I am a messenger. I am for transparency purposes, I am a Virgo Scorpio rising. So my job here on the planet is to be the Mercury messenger in lighted space in that deep, dark shadow to let you all know what's going on. And yes, I have a little bit of intensity. And yes, I have a little bit of smoke and fire. And yes, I bellow a little bit. I'm not spiritually demure. I'm a little bit of a mess, but I'm here to get the message out. And from that space, it's up to you to use your spidey sense, to use your intuition, to use your free will, your free choice to decide for yourself. That's the beauty of this whole thing, and that's what's so amazing and powerful. Now, this is what I'm picking up from here on out, what's going on. Part of the reason Spirit Team really wanted us to begin to anchor, beginning on the evening of the 15th, anchor in our sacred lines, our sacred light bubbles, so on and so forth, do all that we need to do to anchor in our light field protection. It seems to me the energies of psychic attack are beginning to ramp up a little bit, and that psychic attack energy may be more on the front end. I suspect as we begin to move through events, that's actually going to begin to dissipate some. So we need to be very ready on the front end. I have a feeling like supplies need to be in by the end of the day of the 17th. The 18th, Spirit Team is saying the 18th, things are rolling. Things are rolling. Will we see them? I don't know. It may be more behind the scenes. Like as of now, the feeling that I'm getting, Spirit Team has been telling me all day here on the 16th, they keep telling me it's happening, it's happening. And the feeling that I get from the it's happening quote is, we're bumping up on that new timeline, people. Activities are happening and we are beginning to bump up on that new timeline. So you need to be very cued into your timeline and your intent there. From there, there's a lot of energy in this. I suspect the day of the 19th is going to be very active, and you need to tune in and read energetically what that is for you. I could be wrong on this. I totally could be wrong on the 20th, but I don't really get the feeling it's going to be the big I day that we think it is. I could be wrong on that. That's the first wave of events. Now, for most of us, we're going to think, whew, we got through it, we're done, we're good to go. Not so fast, not so fast. There's so much energy in this. According to Spirit Team, there is a second wave of activity, information, energy that we come down off that first wave. There's another one. There's another one right on its heels, and that's the one that catches everybody by surprise. And that one especially, I believe, with everything going on in the middle of this, I do believe the 8-headed monster is involved. And that is the pendulum checking video with me wearing the blue sweater. It is in my pendulum checking playlist on both apps. That's where you go find it. I believe what we're going to see this coming week really is beyond politics, and it has to do with the power players behind the scenes, 8-headed monster doing their thing. And so you just might want to keep that filter in mind. Now, what Spirit Team wants me to talk with you here about, they're saying, Dana, tell them, there's going to be a lot of drama. There's going to be a lot of talk. There's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's going to be a lot of coming and going. And remember, we are in the auspices of this eclipse tunnel. We've had that really weird lunar eclipse with Mars retrograde Cancer. We're getting our asses handed to us right now, people. This is like a really deep, dark reset in hidden space, both potentially with TikTok and potentially with the American government. Right? So the astrology is written all over this thing. I mean, the reset button is written all over this thing. And Spirit Team wants to be really clear with all of you that we're going to see a lot going on in our viewfinder. And Spirit Team is saying that's where the banshees are flying out of the Ark of the Covenant. That's where the banshees are flying out of the Ark of the Covenant. And that's where we need to like take a step back and just kind of go and be able to say to ourselves, not my timeline, not my thing that I'm involved with. I'm on this other sacred feminine timeline. I'm meant to be here for the new time. So pardon me, guys. I'm just going to like stage exit right over to this other viewfinder, and I will catch you on the flip side. That's literally what we need to be doing. There's a feeling from spirit world of like, stay in the joy, stay in the excitement, stay in the bubble, stay in that lighted field. We're meant for the new time, no matter how dark and dramatic and chaotic and scary it might get. I hesitate to say this next piece of the message, but I think I need to do it just so people may be emotionally ready for this. I have reason to believe that there is a likelihood, a potential, so don't read too much into it, a potential that we might go 4 days without clear leadership. Just be ready for that. And if we feel or it looks like that all is lost and it's not going to work out, and that's all part of it. Spirit world wants us to know it works out. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to make it through it. Let me read this quote again. Let me read the quote. Here it is. Keep walking 1 foot in front of the other so the miracles can meet you along the way. Take that quote with you into the next week and just keep walking. So next week is there, like, again, maybe this doesn't happen at all, but Spirit Team is going like, Dana, you need to stand on principle and go, something is going to be happening. We need to be mentally and emotionally prepared for this. And if you feel uncomfortable about it, that's all part of the process too. That's where you need to be doing your managing trigger work. You need to know what's going on with your triggers and how to manage them and how to be with it. So no matter what is going on with the viewfinder in front of us, stay with that bubbling, sacred feminine excitement into that new time space that we're headed for, and make sure that you keep walking so that the miracles can meet you along the way, because they will. Now, according to Spirit Team, that second wave is what's going to cause so much more confusion and concern and, oh my God, what's going on and where are we at and what's happening with all of this. That one's probably going to be the harder one to come out of. That one's going to be the harder one to come out of and go, can we trust the new space? Now, here's what's so freaky about it, because looking at my calendar, I get to that space right around 26th and the 28th. January 26th and the 28th, and it all clears. It all clears up. Everything begins to line up. Guess what? That's the 2-week mark. That's the new moon. I think, would that be the new moon? That would be the 2-week mark, the new moon mark. We're out of the eclipse tunnel. We're out of the eclipse season. That's where things go up. You're coming out of the reset. Click. Here you go. And things begin to line up again. And I swear to God, like, I look at February 1st is like, bam, solid ground. We're on solid ground. It's all clear. It's all working. We're going to be fine. And so I want you to keep that picture in front of you. It's going to look muddied and muddy and weird and shamanic and shadow, like all of that. Pretty hardcore through 18th through 26th. And then we land on solid ground on the backside of on the backside of this thing. And we're going to look around and look at one another and go, WTF, what was that? And then we're going to get down to business. We're going to be like ants building the ant hill. And we're going to begin to put things back together in a brand new way. Think humanitarian. Look at what's gone on in LA. Look at how much the Los Angeles community has made us change our minds about them. Look at how community is coming together, brothers and sisters meeting up with brothers and sisters in neighborhood community efforts, humanitarianism on the ground. That's what we need to stay focused on. Pluto is getting rid of the things that do not serve our humanitarian connections with one another. That's what's going to be happening next week, is that we bubble with the sacred feminine, that exfoliation coming up. This is what we no longer need. We need to stay with this and keep moving one foot in front of the other through it, into and with the miracles, okay? So that's what I want to leave you with. Like, for about 24 hours, Spirit Team really just kind of handed me my ass with some of these visions, and it took me a while to sort them out. And then I'm like, oh my God, there it is. So make sure you do the prep that you intuitively feel like you need to do over the next couple of days. There's still time, even into the 18th. Doesn't have to be crazy, because we're just doing a bit of a 10-day period here, but it's going to be a life-changing 10-day period. Okay, folks? And what you need to know is you have the wherewithal to do your grounding, breathing, centering, tuning in with your spirit team, your intuition, tuning in with your Star Nation family, making sure you're on the timeline you want to be on, managing your triggers. And if you're concerned about any of that, I have put those 4 primary programs on my Linktree. You can go get those and have those with you through this time. I want to leave with you. You've got this. I've got this. We've got this. Keep that in your body and your lexicon, and just keep on stepping through, walking through with the miracles.